It's Monday, the 16th of August, 2021. I just want to say I'm absolutely overwhelmed with the support I get. Some days I don't get as much as others, but let me tell you, I'm live on Castbox, I'm live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and live on Twitter. So when I get a message out, I'm like a citizens advice bureau in a way. Some days not. I'm talking about what's in the journalism. But what's in the journalism ahead of us can help counteract further incidents from happening, further criminology from happening. It's also an influencer to youth for today for causing knife crime, gun crime, thinking about their actions of offending, reoffending. I'm sitting in this position doing what I'm doing because I've done media studies. I've abbreviated it so many times, stressed it so many times past my show. I shouldn't have to keep disguising myself. I hate that, don't you? Do you know you feel like you have to explain yourself why I'm here? People asking questions, speaking nonsense. Citizens advice. Give good advice. Whether you take it on board or not is up to you. I've learned now. Citizens advice gives me so much advice in the past, but if you don't write notes down, you don't remember. You come out all like under hesitation whether to go back in and ask what they just said. Feel stupid. Queuing up to get in there is so big because so many people need advice. Everyone needs citizens advice. Everyone needs advice of citizens advice. If it's work related, family related, if it's business, business related as well. Second-hand goods, computer store rights, buy second-hand goods. Maybe bought a computer, only has 6 months warranty, buy it second-hand. But you go and citizens advice. They give you a number to ring. I know the number. I know what it is off the top of my head, but I've had one of them evenings with little sleep. But anyway, as we're moving on, ladies and gents, I just want to say thank you for everyone coming through. Give me a bit of support, a bit of encouragement. I'm here for a real good reason. I'm a phenomenal speaker. I'm influential. I've been given a job by Facebook as I've taken on the political spectrum and media studies since 1996. I campaign for politics. I campaign for criminology. Exactly what I do. I just want to say thank you everyone for coming through on Castbox as well. Appreciate you guys coming in to support the show. I hope you can hear me crystal clear there. Ross Ellis, Christian Rowland, Eric, John Garrett, Randy, Travis, Black Ranger, Anthony Michael. Do you know what? I do not. No matter how hard society can be at me, I don't have any hatred towards it. I've been at the lowest of the low. I still had no hatred for society. People can paint 1,000 pictures, but I'll probably paint 2,000, so I'm not worried. I'm not worried. Not worried. I support democracy day in, day out because I care. I care about people getting in the same predicament as I did as a child growing up. It's not easy out there. Life isn't easy. Life isn't easy. Don't let me dictate your life. But when I say, like, let's make that change for better your aspirations, that's to be better for you, for your family. Regardless if you're my enemy, I don't hate you. I've got no reason to hate you. I envy you that you're hated upon me because to me that's a fan. I don't hate nobody. Literally nobody in this world I don't hate. I'm not scared of nobody. I don't hate anybody. I don't confront anybody. I'm a good man. It's about time people unwind and simmer down and understand that I'm giving back to society. This is how I'm going to do it. I've been here 3 years doing this. It's my job. It's my position to give back to society, to go down a different road than I did. It's okay not to be okay as a man. As a woman, it's okay to not be okay. There's a line that you have to draw. So that enough's enough. Anyway, moving on. How many buses in the UK, public transport, ladies and gentlemen, how many buses in the UK have Wi-Fi? Business commuters, even students. Absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. You can use your computer on your travels. You can use your computer on your travels. You can do your booking references on your travel on a bus because you've got Wi-Fi. You look at your conference that you're going to attend and see who's in a lineup through the Wi-Fi on a bus and on a train. Some trains now. How many buses in the UK have Wi-Fi? There's 24 trains and a similar number of buses in Leeds and Bradford, with more than 600,000 unique users now using the service. 713 buses and 27 trams in Edinburgh. It's 2.6 million unique users. There you go, free Wi-Fi on the buses. I just want to give you a shout out to my sponsors. Like I always say, if you want to make that change, better your aspirations, better your you want to be ambitious. You want to be ambitious. People that hate you, they need to be ambitious. Always remember that. They need to be ambitious. Be ambitious. People that hate you need to be ambitious. They need to be ambitious and think, I need to change my direction of lifestyle, my thinking mechanism of looking back over one another. If you don't like someone, just close the book, move on. It's tough. You know, don't go back and scroll, and troll their doing, their well-being. Why would you do that? Anyway, Relax UK Limited, health, travel and wellness products since 1997. UK relaxation shops and various ranges of products from relaxation, travel, well-being, biofeedback, sleeping and natural products. If you're part of the union, right, don't use it as an ammunition, but please understand, if you are part of the union, you should be insured against discrimination, cyberbullying, hate crime. An action should be put in place to be dealt with the criminology movement, big time. Because the equity itself takes on critical thinkers, people that wouldn't put harm against society for man or beast. I sit in this seat 365 days a year. I might miss a few days by going family trips. But I'm like any ordinary person. I tenaciously love my family. Tenaciously love my family. So I will have a break like anybody else. And me doing these shows can take anything up to 4 hours. Even if I'm speaking for 40 minutes, it's not the setting up, it's the sharing of the instance. It takes a lot of involvement. People don't see what goes on behind closed doors. Let alone, this ain't all I do, which is nothing to do with anybody. I don't have to tell no one nothing what I do in my spare time. PSS alarms, very etiquette and pragmatic works carried out. All areas covered, including central station monitoring provided, all work done according to insurance requirements. This is a friend of mine's company. He's carried out works in Harry Kane's stepmother's house in Hertfordshire, Potter's Bar. He carried out etiquette works in Essex, such as Casbah restaurant and many more big businesses. Get a pen and paper ready. Installation and maintenance of intruder alarms, fire alarms, CCTV, all work guaranteed and certified to SSARB standards. 24-hour call-out service. Can provide CCTV for pub, clubs, restaurants, or new business setup. Secure your business. Mention Professor Johnson for extra discount. Secure your home, secure your business. Your safety and priority in your business are paramount. So think safely, think first. secure your equity. Here's a number: 07908 07908 216 142. 07908 216 142. 07908 216 142. That's the number on the door. Give it a call, speak to Eric. I'm very, very ethical with his job. Doesn't drink, doesn't take narcotics, doesn't eat takeaways outside someone's property and leave rubbish. Very, very professional. Very professional. Speaks in such a high mannerism. Very nice chap indeed. Nice family. Comes from nice. Do you know when you speak to them and know they come from good stock. Their family's always been assembled together. You know, but they're proud of one another. That's a good stock of the family. Anyway, before we're moving on, we're going to give the road incidents as I do day in, day out. Me just providing these incidents. Let's think of the cognitive skills for it before people want to jump on board and criticise the show. You know, because I don't drive. Why should I care about you lot crashing? Because I do. I do. I actually do. I've got niece, I've got nephew, I've got sons. Unfortunately, I've got some in-laws, but, you know, I don't want them to get hurt because I'm not that out, you know, not as selfish. But, you know, this is why I do this. I don't want innocent people to get hit on the road. We've got nans, we've got granddads, we've got aunties, uncles, brothers, sisters, cousins. I don't want anyone to get hit through stupidity on the UK roads. I've been doing this for years for a purpose, just to give people guidance. It needs to be tuitioned in through a church, tuitioned through a school, but they can't tuition with everything. You do your theory. Some people drive without even doing a theory, without even getting a license. It's horrific. Members of society haven't been taught properly because they've been brought up by alcoholism. The whole idea of this part of the next part of the show. Alcoholism, narcotics, do not enter a vehicle or do not even think about getting into a vehicle. Making sure you and passengers on board have seatbelts on and babies have seatbelts adjacent to the car seat. Make sure you got tax, MOT. You got water. You got water in your coolant tank, an engine oil. Make sure they're topped up to maximum level. Check your PSI limits. Check your lights on. They come on and off as well. You might go for a drive about 4 o'clock, starts to get dark around 5, 6 on a winter's day. Your light's not working. Making yourself a danger on the road. Not your fault, theoretically, but just give that little check over, you'll know. You can't be a procurement to the way you use your vehicle every time. But try and remember some simple steps could save an incident. Eating while you're driving at the wheel, drinking, can of Coke, on the phone while you're driving. Check the centre mirror and wing mirror before turning, acting into safe, sufficient directional choice. Checking for motorcycles, because you're not the only one on the road. You don't own the road. And you certainly cannot manipulate the court to say, oh yeah, well, I didn't check the mirror, but I knocked the motorbike over because I wasn't paying no attention. I'm just selfish. You can't manipulate a legislator. You're burning lies before you've even got through the court door. There's quite a lot of people just recently got away with murder from driving. Got like 3 months, got 3 months, not 3 months, 6 months in prison. Caused dangerous driving, killed someone on the road. Should be at least attempted murder for murder. Get half a sentence if they can put it down to an accident, but they got like 6 months. Happens a lot. Innocent lives getting taken on the road. This is what I do day in, day out, and I get mocked for what I'm doing. I've got one of my closest pals, one of my best friends I lost on the road. I've got one of my old next door neighbours I lost on the road. I'm doing this for a valid reason. I don't want to be discriminated for what I do ever again. I've got children that I love. regardless if I've got £100 to put in their pocket or I haven't got enough money to pay for my bills. I don't need to be discriminated and hated upon. It's ridiculous, ludicrous. And I am saying this, if you're listening and you think I'm talking about you, because, yeah, it was actually directed at the attack that happened last night. A120. Slow traffic on A120 eastbound before A12 London Road, junction 25, Marks A. Delays from Coleshaw. 9:55 a.m. first reported. A12, slow traffic A12 northbound between junction 16, B1007 Stock Road, Gallywood, and junction 18 A1060 Danbury in patches. 10:51 a.m. first reported. So I'm giving these some, you know, you can use your own cognitive skill. I'm giving you these instances on UK roads. What we're going to do, you're going to plan your destination. You're going to plan a route from A to B. Maybe you've got to take your nan to the doctors, to the vets, your aunt or uncle. See, this is the advice I'm giving. I'm giving it to the hatred people that don't like me, if they're listening in. You might give them something to think about, rather than think about what someone else is doing. And give something back to society. Think about your destination. You might miss a hospital appointment if you don't plan your destination. If you miss a hospital appointment, you might not get medication that keeps your mother alive, your auntie alive, your son, your daughter, your niece, your nephew alive because you didn't plan your route. A201, lanes blocked, stalled car, slow traffic. One lane blocked and slow traffic due to stalled car on A201. Elephant Castle, westbound from A2. Old Kent Road, Bricklayers Arms to Elephant and Castle. Lane 3 of 3 is blocked. We're going to look over at Oxford, and that will be the last one. It's absolutely hundreds of incidents today. You wouldn't believe how many of it is in a year. Over 160,000 in a year car accidents on the road. A420, Oseney Bridge, slow traffic in construction area. Slow traffic on A420. Oseney Bridge into town before Thames Path. In the construction area, 10 big traffic lights in operation. 10 to 10 a.m. first reported. Let me just say something. All these incidents that happen in the UK, think about how long the roads are in miles. Great Britain, 600 miles in length, 300 miles in width. I've got a sponge-like brain to stuff I do want to remember for the sake of baked beans. I'm a good observer for things that I need to know. Just remember that. I'm very, very good. This is what I do. I've been doing this on and off since 1996. If I stuck here, I could have been, who knows, could have been one of the top legislators in the world by now. But we're getting back into it. This is Plan A from 1996. Why change a habit of a lifetime? Absolutely. Essex crime, assaults on police officers in Essex surged during the pandemic. Some of the incidents include people spitting on or coughing at police officers. Assaults on police officers in Essex have rocketed during the pandemic, according to the latest data. There were 1,411 assaults against police officers recorded in Essex between April 2020 and March 2020. Figures from the Home Office show a 20% increase from previous year, with 1,180 incidents recorded. In total, 282 of the assaults resulted in injuries, while the other officers were luckily physically unharmed. Colchester, Essex recorded the highest number of assaults against police officers in Essex, with 224 to 43 of which were injured as a result of the assaults. Southend-on-Sea was not far behind, 210 assaults against officers in last year, up from 187 between 2019 and 2020. The number of assaults without injury is the highest recorded in more than a decade, since comparable record began in 2006 and 2007. The figures cover assaults on officers that are recorded as crimes with violence. However, they do not include more serious assaults such as attempted murder, which are recorded under more serious crime classification. They also do not include any assaults that are not reported. It means the overall number of attacks on police may well be higher than the published number. Across England and Wales, there were 36,969 assaults against police officers recorded in 2021, 14% higher than the 32,427 in the previous year. It's a bit worrying, isn't it? Police officers out there to protect and serve, doing their job, and they're getting harmed by society, getting attacked by society. They're doing their job. Imagine you work in a supermarket. You work in a supermarket, selling Mars bars. Load of kids coming. They start beating you up because you're selling Mars bars. You know, these officers put their life on the line to protect and serve. They don't deserve to get beaten up. They don't deserve to be spat at. They don't deserve to be name called. What they do for society is absolutely, it's phenomenal. They make our safety, which is paramount. I hear officers going past. I'm in a nice area, quiet area. But at a time of, you know, where you feel a bit uneasy, they're always just around the corner. They're not far away, never far away. Vile individuals who spat on or coughed on by police officers. Police Federation England and Wales National Chair John Apter said, throughout the pandemic, we have witnessed police officers being subject to disgusting level of violence. We now have the figures to prove just how dire the situation has been for my colleagues on the ground. More than 100% of my colleagues are assaulted every single day. That's a staggering number and something society must not accept. Many of these recorded attacks involve vile individuals who spat or coughed at police officers. Weapons on the virus threatening to spread it to them and their families. It's bang out of order. It's uncalled for. It's just inappropriate. Adults having a drink up, acting inappropriate, and being pathetic. The sentencing guidelines have been changed and would urge judges and magistrates to use these powers to set an example to those who are assaulting their colleagues. Those responsible must spend time in prison. This unjust violence is a stain on society and needs to be dealt with robustly. Between 2006, 2007 and 2012, 2013, there's been general downward trend in the number of assaults without injury recorded. This remained stable of 2015-16 when the number of offences began increasing year on. The assaults of emergency workers offences, Act 218, means anyone found guilty of assault of a police officer, firefighter, prison officer and paramedic faced a maximum of 12 months in prison. Judges must also consider tougher sentences for the more serious offences, such as GBH or sexual assault, if the victim was an emergency worker. In 2021, there was 2,282 assaults recorded on emergency workers other than the police officers. The Police Crime, Sentencing and Courts Bill currently going through Parliament includes a provision to double the maximum penalty for assault an emergency worker for 2 years. Home Office spokesperson said, "Our brave police officers go to work every day to protect the public, and being attacked should never be part of the job. Anyone who commits the despicable assault should be expected to face the full force of the law, which is why we're doubling the maximum sentence for those who assault emergency workers." Do you make that correct? Absolutely. Definitely, most definitely. This year, as well as continuing to recruit 20,000 additional police officers, we enshrine a police covenant in law to provide better support for our selfless officers staff and our families. One of the key areas of focus will be physical protection of officers. We need some, we don't want like abrupt police officers. We get these, you know, really athleticism, if you like, bodybuilders. We need some more, you know, masculine men to get involved in the police force. You're not a coward to become a police officer. Absolutely not. I mean, some youth of today in society think it's a coward job. That's not, absolutely not. If I was younger and turn back time, I'd have been a police officer. I can't even be a PCO, unfortunately, which I've applied for, because I would be a backup officer, no problem whatsoever. I can't be due through medical conditions. I can't be a lot of things through medical conditions. Not my fault. It's the doctor's approval and the government's, not my fault. So when I get these critical people come through, but judgmental, having a bark and a laugh, they need to acknowledge that they're messing with a vulnerable person, really, in a roundabout sense. But I won't be provoked. And I'm not, like I say, I'm not. If I had one leg, I still wouldn't be scared of anyone in this world. I've done nothing wrong. It's done zero zilch wrong. Anyway, moving on. Go a quick break, and we'll get back to you, lovely. That's all I'm gonna do. I miss you. What can I say? It's been a long day. It's been a long day without you, my friend. Over it. Hey, Hadis. How you doing, buddy? David Lammy is on there. I hope. All right, Martin Stanford.
Oh, lads, I've got to run. I'm teeing off in 20. Whether you listen to Harry or Michael, make your best bet at BetVictor. Search online for latest offers. 18 plus, be gamble aware. Please gamble responsibly.
Expedia presents a tribute to that special someone you never leave home without. Your bestie, BFF, your buddy old pal, brother from another mother or sister from another mister. Partner in crime, your ride or die. Whatever you call them, everywhere's better when you travel together. That's why, like a great companion, Expedia has your back throughout your journey with flexible options all in one app.
Flexible options on selected hotels, terms apply, at-all protected.
LBC News. Weather. Mostly cloudy across London today with the odd spot of rain. Cloud will become increasingly fragmented as the day progresses, though, with plenty of sunny spells expected by the late evening. A high of 19 degrees. Tonight, cloud will again build from the west, gradually turning more cloudy for many overnight, but it will remain largely dry for much of the night, with a few spells of rain drifting through towards dawn, though. Tomorrow, a cloudy day again, with a few spells of light rain likely.
Now, fully vaccinated people in England and Northern Ireland are got a change in the rules today. They're no longer required to self-isolate after being in close contact of someone with COVID-19. So if you get pinged, you have to do different things. In this respect, we are catching up with our compatriots in Scotland and Wales, really. But let's see if with Vicky Smith, who's in Leeds for us this afternoon, can explain the changes for us. Tell us all, Vicky.
From today, those who have had both doses in England, even those who are under 18, will no longer have to quarantine for 10 days if they are pinged by the NHS app or whether they are contacted by the Test and Trace service. And this has been called by the Health Secretary another step back towards a normality, and it does come after what some people were calling the ping-demic. At its peak in July, the number of self-isolation alerts sent in England and Wales in a week was just under 700,000, and many in those trades which saw major disruption are welcoming this change today. We've spoken to Jo Myers, who owns a restaurant, The Swine That Dines in Leeds, and she told LBC News that this will make a huge difference to hospitality. She had to close closed for 2 weeks due to staff members being pinged.
Of this change will be it's great that there's people will be able to get back to normal in some ways, but also if people that have been exposed to the virus are in workplaces, there is a risk of more transmission and more spread and more outbreaks.
The changes mean that those who have had both doses will instead be advised to take a PCR test, but they won't have to self-isolate whilst waiting for that result. So contacts are also advised to wear a face covering in enclosed spaces and to limit contact with others, especially the clinically vulnerable. And some scientists have warned, though, that the relaxation of these rules will inevitably lead to more infections. We just heard actually from Deborah Harkins, the Director of Public Health in Calderdale in West Yorkshire, who was saying we just don't know what this could mean. Also from today in Northern Ireland, people who are close contacts of positive cases will no longer have to isolate for 10 days as long as they test negative, have no symptoms and have had both doses of a coronavirus vaccine. And like you say, similar changes have already come into effect in both Wales and Scotland.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. We will bring you some more now on the situation, I do beg your pardon, in Plymouth today. A silence was held in Plymouth to remember the victims of last week's shooting. Bells rang out 5 times to mark the 5 people who lost their lives in the Keam area. Here's Andy Ballantyne.
Hundreds gathered in this park in Keam as the city and Devon fell silent. A minute's silence ended up being 5 before a ripple of applause echoed across the park. Plymouth remembering those cruelly taken away and Britain's worst mass shooting in more than a decade.
This is LBC News.
More news now coming from Haiti. They got this quake they're dealing with there, and 1,300 people are feared to have lost their lives. That number may well climb further. The magnitude of the quake was 7.2. Mike Noyes works for humanitarian aid at Action Aid UK.
Communities in the southern part of Haiti
Bear with it, guys.
have spent the last couple of nights sleeping out in the open because at a
can
time
hear
like
me?
this you get aftershocks. Yeah,
Man,
people
I'm
are
here.
obviously anxious about the safety and security of the buildings, and they are of course still in many cases looking for their loved ones and the like. And this storm is coming along now. It's not the biggest storm that has ever hit the Caribbean, but it's just more to add to the difficulties. And one of the things that it will probably do is increase the risk of landslides and landslips where the ground has been shaken up by the earthquake. The situation is really quite difficult in Haiti even before this started, and this is just making things very hard for us. Gang violence has been a growing problem in Haiti for some time. Indeed, it's something we're having to factor in terms of how we respond to this earthquake response. Some of the roads that we would normally use to get supplies from Port-au-Prince, the capital, to this affected area have both been blocked by landslides in some places, but also are at risk of gang violence and insecurity. So we are looking at options like air, like boats, as well as alternative routes to get the supplies we need in, but it is challenging.
That's my... We'll hear from our man in Washington.
The NHS has had chronic workforce shortages.
These are children living under siege. This is their daily life.
Can get back to what's going on. It's been a massive car incident on the A133. Just wanted to let you guys know. Oh, what's the message in my... I can't even read them. Apparently, what's some messages? I can't even read them. I'll read them after. Sorry about that. Whoever's left messages, love all. A133 accident updates as major Essex road closed after a serious collision. A major Essex road has been closed due to a serious collision. Police were called to the A133 in Little Clacton shortly before 6 p.m. this evening on the 14th of August. They say there was little information surrounding the circumstances of the crash, but officers remain at the scene. And Essex police A spokesman has said, we're currently dealing with a serious collision on the A133 in Little Clapton. Exact details of the road closures aren't known yet. However, this is likely to cause disruption through the area, so please use alternative routes if possible. Anyone have information, please contact the Essex Police, quoting on 101, quoting reference 1055. It's important, I'll give out these details. It's important if you do acknowledge any of these incidents, get them forward to the police. People deserve justice. If you want human rights to be dealt with in a considerable manner, you need to jump on the bandwagon. Contact Essex Police 101, incident 1055. Always remember that if you're walking the street and you see someone unlawfully dealt with in society, call 101. You could save someone's life. Why not? You're not a coward. You're a human being that has compassion, has a heart, that wants to protect society as well as yourself. It's been many incidents that have happened and bystanders haven't said anything. You need to make action. New powers sought to stop illegal ticket resales. The UK's competition watchdog has said ticket resale firms such as Viagogo and StubHub should face tighter rules. Competition and Market Authorities, CMA, said the current laws meant it was not possible to act swiftly and effectively against touts. Another programme came from resellers who speculatively sold tickets they did not own. The regulators said the CMA has previously taken action against both the Viagogo and the StubHub, which have been made changes as a result. In February, after year after Viagogo, but StubHub for 4.1 billion, 3.1 billion British sterling. Regulators told Viagogo to sell all of the StubHub's business outside North America to satisfy competition concerns. In February, a year after Viagogo bought, CMA's latest intervention comes a big music sport events are set to resume in the UK in the next few months after the COVID pandemic, fueling fans demanding tickets. The watchdog's recommendations include a ban on the platforms allowing resellers to sell more tickets for an event than they can legally buy from the primary market. Ensuring platforms are fully responsible for incorrect information about tickets that are listed for sale on their websites. A new licensing system for secondary ticket sites that would enable an authority to act quickly to take down websites, withdraw a business right to operate in the sector, and impose substantial fines, or bulk buying of tickets by professional resellers who then sell them at inflated prices may be illegal. Swift and effective action by authorities. It is not possible under the current law, the regulators said. Similar issues arise in relation to laws such as prevent resellers advertising tickets using incorrect information or speculatively selling tickets that they do not own, the CMA has added. Thank you all ever so much for tuning in today. A problem shared is a problem halved. I appreciate everyone coming through my show. Hate me, like me, love me, I don't care, but acknowledge me. Thank you. I'm giving you some critical information. If you take it on board or not, it's down to the personnel. A good emphasize. I like to exfoliate my expression. I like to try and reel the audience in of surprisement. This guy is bilingual with his tongue. Very emotive. How he attracts the audience to come invite him back in. Anyway, thanks all. A proclamation of Gatherence. I just say God bless, one love, and speak soon.